I'm the villain you want, but not the villain your story needs.
Hey guys, and welcome to round 5 of me answering your questions. And today's question, as you may have guessed, is about villains.
Do you always need a clear villain in your story?
Of course you do. Every good story needs a villain, a good one. So obviously you need a clear one, which means you need me.
Well, not exactly.
What?
Here's the thing, what your story needs above all else is a clear obstacle in your hero's path. Because, let's be honest, you don't want a story that looks like this.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. You know, I was just throwing a ring into that volcano over there and saved the world. There wasn't any enemies to stop me or anything.
The thing is, your story needs conflict. And if you're not going to have an actual villain supply the conflict, you're going to need to supply it from somewhere else. There are two main ways to do this. First, have an impersonal threat, and second, have a personal antagonist who isn't a villain. With an impersonal threat, the main characters are normally trying to stop some sort of natural disaster. So this could be a giant meteor sailing toward the Earth, or a volcano that's going to erupt, or a whole variety of other things. But basically, you have to have a threat and an obstacle. But you don't need a villain. As long as your story has a gripping conflict, even if it isn't because of an actual human, it can work out fine. The other option is to have an antagonist, but not a villain.
What? What's the difference between an antagonist and a villain?
An antagonist is someone who stands in the way of the hero's plans. A villain is someone who's evil. These two concepts are different. To give a more clear example, this often shows up in romance novels. Because a romance novel doesn't normally start with a scene like this.
Will you marry me?
Yes.
No, if anything, it will start with something like this.
Will you marry me?
No way!
In most romance novels, one person wants to marry the other, but the other doesn't. Because if there's no conflict, there's no story. So generally, one partner acts as an antagonist for most of the story because their plans are conflicting with the hero's plans. And once there's a proposal and she says yes, the story is probably going to be pretty much over because the protagonist's goals have been achieved. So to answer the question, you don't need to have a clear villain, but you have to have a clear obstacle and a clear conflict. Anyways, hope that helps. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions, and we'll be sure to answer them in a future video. Until then, talk to you guys next time.
Will you marry me?
No!
Kind of backed up then.
Don't, Anna.
I was gonna laugh.
No, you can't laugh.
No!
Try that again.
Just like